Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. McNair and this is a short video on zero and negative exponents. Alright, first concept that you should know about zero exponents is that any number to the zero power is 1 except 0. 0 to the zero power is undefined. Okay? And then negative exponents, what you should know about that is that um, a expression isn't considered simplified unless there are no negative exponents in it. So you get rid of a negative exponent by taking the reciprocal of it and making the exponent positive. So let's try a couple of problems. First of all, 45 to the 0. Well, anything to the 0 power is 1. 0 to the 0, well, that's actually undefined. Negative 8 to the 0 power, well, that's 1. Now, D, if you notice, the difference between C and D is the parentheses. All right. Remember, we talked about before that the exponent is attached to the thing it's immediately connected to. So in this problem, 8 to the 0 power, well, that's 1. And then we drop down the negative. So this answer is actually negative 1. Okay? In fact, if you were to go to your calculator, you could notice when you type in there the difference between negative 8 in parentheses to the 0 and negative 8 to the 0 without the parentheses. All right? And once again, your calculator recognizes that in the second one, you take 8 to the 0 power first and then make that negative. All right. Here, 3/5 to the 0 power. Well, anything to the 0 power again is 1. Now, B, we're talking about the negative exponents. Now, if you recall, to get rid of a negative exponent, we said that you flip it and you make the exponent positive. And then we can simplify even more from there. That would be 1 over negative 4 to the second. That's positive 16. Okay? Same thing in part C. In part C, we have a negative exponent in the denominator. So to get rid of a negative exponent, you flip it. So here, we're going to move it from the bottom to the top. So this is going to become negative 2 to the positive third. Now it's all in the numerator. All right? And negative 2 to the positive third is negative 8. Okay? Now, remember, your answer is allowed to have negative numbers in it, just not negative exponents. No negative exponents. All right. Here we go. This one we're going to combine some concepts here. In part A, remember when we said that we multiply two things with the same base, we add the exponents. So we're going to be adding the 2 and the negative 3. Now, the base stays the same. It's going to stay 4. 2 plus negative 3, that's negative 1. Okay? Now, once again, we're not allowed to leave negative exponents in there. So to get rid of that negative exponent, we're going to flip it and make the exponent positive. And we know that 1 over 4 to the first is just 1/4. So that would be our final answer. All right, part B. This problem, we know that when we raise a power to a power, we multiply the exponents together. So we're going to multiply this negative 1 times negative 2. So that'll be 3 to the positive 2. And we know that 3 squared is 9. All right, now C we could do a couple different ways. I'm going to do the easiest way for right now. 2 times 5, we can simplify that parentheses. And we know that 2 times 5 is 10. So this is 10 to the negative second. Once again, we have a negative exponent. So to get rid of our negative exponent, we flip it and make the exponent positive. The parentheses weren't really necessary here because the base was a positive number. And then we can say, okay, well, that's 1 over 10 squared is 100. All right. Next, rewrite the expression with only positive exponents. All right, so the first one, we have 7x to the negative second, y to the fourth. Now, once again, we move the things that have negative exponents. Only the things that have negative exponents. So the only thing in part A that we're going to be moving is this x to the negative 2, because that's the only one with a negative exponent. The 7 and the y to the fourth both have positive exponents. So the 7 is going to stay on the top. The y to the fourth is going to stay on the top. But the x to the negative second, this has to move. It has to move to the bottom. And then the exponent becomes positive. So that's our final answer for that one. All right. B, same concept here. You only move what has the negative exponents. The g is the only thing with a negative exponent. The 15 is a positive exponent. So the 15 is going to stay where it's at. It's going to stay in the numerator. The g, however, needs to move to the top and become a positive exponent. So that's going to be g to the positive fourth. All right. Once again, we only move what has a negative exponent. All right, C. C, the whole thing has a negative exponent. So we're actually going to move the whole value to the bottom, because right now it's all on the top. So this is going to be 1 over 7x to the positive second. All right, we move the whole base. All right, after that, we could take this 2, and the 2, we can distribute it into the parentheses. So we would have 1 over 7 squared x squared. And if we simplify it even further, that would be 1 over 49x squared. Okay? All right. Well, that was the lesson on 0 and negative exponents. Hopefully that was helpful.